In December 2025, Jungkook did not release a new single. He did not announce a world tour. He did not stand on a stadium stage in front of tens of thousands of screaming fans. Yet, across 3 continents, his face appeared almost simultaneously: Korea, Britain, Japan. 3 Rolling Stone covers. One artist. For the global music industry, this was not just another magazine feature. It was a statement, quiet, calculated, and impossible to ignore. Jungkook of BTS had entered a new phase of his career, one defined not only by popularity, but by cultural permanence. This multi-country Rolling Stone project marked one of the most significant editorial moments for a K-pop solo artist in recent years. It positioned Jungkook not merely as a successful idol, but as a global pop figure whose influence extends far beyond charts and fandoms. And perhaps more importantly, it came at a moment when Jungkook himself seemed to be redefining what success looks like after military service, global superstardom, and years of relentless public attention. To understand the weight of this moment, one must first understand Rolling Stone itself. Founded in 1967, Rolling Stone has long been more than a music magazine. It is an institution, one that has documented the rise and fall of artists, movements, and cultural revolutions. To appear on its cover has historically meant that an artist is not only popular, but culturally significant. In the past, Rolling Stone covers helped define eras. The Beatles during their cultural peak, Michael Jackson at the height of global domination, Madonna, Prince, Beyoncé, and countless others who shaped popular culture for decades. Non-Western artists appeared rarely, and often only after breaking into Western markets on an unprecedented scale. That context makes Jungkook's December 2025 covers extraordinary. This was not one edition, not one country, but 3 major markets, each with its own editorial voice. According to industry insiders, the decision to feature Jungkook across multiple Rolling Stone editions was not accidental, nor rushed. Editors reportedly viewed Jungkook as an artist at a rare intersection: global recognition, artistic credibility, cultural relevance across generations. Unlike many pop stars who rely on constant releases to maintain visibility, Jungkook's presence in late 2025 was quieter, but no less powerful. His influence had become ambient, unavoidable, enduring. The editorial focus was not on spectacle, but on longevity. Military service has historically disrupted idol careers. Momentum fades. Public interest shifts. The industry moves on. Jungkook's case was different. When he completed his service, there was no frantic rush to reclaim attention. Instead, his return felt measured, grounded, and confident. Industry observers noted several changes: a calmer public demeanor, more selective appearances, a shift toward long-term projects rather than short promotional cycles. The Rolling Stone feature framed this phase not as a comeback, but as an evolution. Each Rolling Stone edition approached Jungkook from a different cultural lens. Rolling Stone Korea focused on his journey from trainee to national icon. IT explored the pressures of growing up in public and the responsibility that comes with representing a generation. Rolling Stone UK positioned Jungkook as part of a global pop lineage. The article compared his influence to artists who transcended language barriers, emphasizing musical universality rather than genre. Rolling Stone Japan highlighted emotional connection and artistry. IT focused on Jungkook's introspective qualities, his relationship with fans, and his ability to communicate vulnerability without words. Together, the 3 features formed a complete portrait, one that no single article could achieve alone. The visual direction of the covers was notably restrained. No excessive styling, no exaggerated concept, no attempt to chase trends. Instead, Jungkook appeared composed, understated, and deliberate. Fashion critics described the aesthetic as timeless rather than trendy, suggesting a conscious effort to position him beyond seasonal relevance in an era dominated by constant visibility. Jungkook's restraint stood out. The response from the music and media industry was swift. Producers, journalists, and cultural commentators noted that this moment symbolized a shift in how K-pop artists are perceived globally, and no longer as novelty acts, and no longer as internet phenomena, but as central figures in global pop discourse. Several analysts pointed out that Jungkook's covers arrived without controversy, scandal, or aggressive marketing, an increasingly rare achievement in modern pop culture. For fans, the covers carried a deeper meaning. Many saw them as validation, not only of Jungkook's talent, but of the emotional investment fans had made over more than a decade. Social media reactions were notably reflective rather than explosive. Words like proud, deserved, long-term artist appeared more frequently than typical fan slogans. This suggested a maturing relationship between artist and audience. One of the most delicate balances Jungkook has maintained is his identity as both a BTS member and a solo artist. The Rolling Stone features carefully avoided framing him as separate from the group, instead emphasizing how BTS shaped and continues to shape his artistic foundation. Rather than distancing himself, Jungkook appeared to be expanding outward while remaining anchored. Cultural analysts noted that Jungkook's visibility in late 2025 extended beyond entertainment. He appeared in discussions about global youth identity, Asian representation in Western media, the future of transnational pop culture. His Rolling Stone covers were cited in academic and media commentary as examples of shifting cultural power dynamics. Perhaps the most striking aspect of this moment was what it did not include: no urgency, no desperation, no sense of proving himself. Jungkook's December 2025 milestone felt like a pause, a moment of recognition before the next chapter unfolds. Industry insiders widely believe that this phase is laying the groundwork for long-form musical projects, selective global collaborations, a carefully timed return to large-scale performances. For much of his career, Jungkook was introduced with a single phrase, the youngest member of BTS. While the label carried affection, it also came with invisible expectations. He was expected to grow, mature, and improve, all under constant observation. For over a decade, the world watched him evolve from a teenage trainee into a global star. The Rolling Stone features subtly addressed this long transition. Rather than framing Jungkook as someone who had finally arrived, the articles emphasized the psychological complexity of growing up without privacy. Industry psychologists interviewed by the magazine pointed out that Jungkook's calm, measured presence in 2025 reflects an artist who has learned to coexist with fame rather than fight it. One striking theme across all three editions was what Jungkook did not say. There were no dramatic declarations, no bold promises of domination, no direct answers about future albums or tours. And modern pop culture, where artists are expected to constantly tease, explain, and update, this restraint felt intentional. Media analysts noted that Jungkook's selective communication has become part of his artistic identity. By speaking less, he allows meaning to accumulate rather than dissipate. This approach contrasts sharply with the algorithm-driven noise of the industry and positions him as an artist who operates on a longer timeline. Military service often reshapes public perception of Korean male celebrities. For Jungkook, the shift was subtle but significant. The Rolling Stone photography avoided stereotypical portrayals of toughness or authority. Instead, it presented a quieter form of masculinity, composed, reflective, and emotionally grounded. Cultural critics praised this representation, noting that Jungkook embodies a new model of global masculinity that rejects aggression in favor of balance. This resonated strongly with international audiences, particularly in Europe and Japan, where discussions around emotional openness in men have gained momentum. Beyond culture and image, Jungkook's presence carries measurable economic impact. Marketing analysts cited in the UK edition noted that any brand or publication associated with Jungkook experiences immediate global exposure across Asia, Europe, and North America. However, Rolling Stone deliberately minimized commercial references in its coverage.